Hello and welcome back to Game of Trades, your #1 channel for videos on the stock market and cryptocurrencies. This video is going to be focused on Bitcoin. We've been seeing some massive developments over the past few weeks. Bitcoin has been on an incredible run here. Now, if you know anything about Bitcoin, if you've done your research, if you've done your homework like we have at gameoftrades.net, you'll know that we're currently in a massive Bitcoin bull run that's fueled by major macroeconomic trends, easy monetary policy that's going to be driving speculative price behavior, and most importantly, and this is the most important thing you need to understand about Bitcoin before we get into this video, is that this is innovation. This is the digitalization of value, and that's when you get a sector with massive amounts of money flowing in a very short amount of time, because innovation is where you see the biggest and the most rapid shifts in price. So we're big long-term bulls from an investment standpoint on Bitcoin. We believe we're still at the very beginning stages of Bitcoin establishing itself in the financial markets. But here we've had a recent 80% move up here from 29,000 all the way till 50K, 74% move up. And we're starting to see the smart money, so older coins, begin to take profits on this move up here, very similar to what we were seeing back here on this bull trap scenario that we had back in 2018. We saw this spike here where old hands that had been holding coins for an extremely long amount of time were actually booking profits on this bear market relief rally. So we're going to talk about in this video whether we should be concerned about that. We're also going to take a look at the technical picture on Bitcoin and see what the price action is hinting at right here for the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to paint a complete overview of the short-term and longer-term view of what is going to be happening on this fascinating asset. We post these videos multiple times a week covering the technicals, covering on-chain analysis. So if you're new here and you want to see more of this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure to hit that like button as hard as you can. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so I want to begin by taking a look at the technical picture on Bitcoin before we actually take a look at the on-chain data. And this is the first and most important chart to watch on Bitcoin. This is the major long-term price channel that we have on BTC here, marked by these two major reactions we have also holding up as support for multiple years here on these major bottoms. And you can pretty much use this channel to identify all price reversals here. In fact, that's how we spotted this major zone of support here between 30 and 29K here. A lot of people were talking about move down to $20,000 because that was the only big level of support under 31K. But if you were looking at this price channel, here, you have a reaction right here, a reaction right there at the top of this big run in 2019. And you also have a major reaction on this bear market high right there. So this price channel support was extremely significant and was not a level that many retail traders were looking at, except for you guys, of course. But now again, if we take a look at the major resistance that we have on this chart, the next big level to watch out for is this one right here. You can see it acted as resistance right there, support, and now it coincides around with this 52 to 53K zone, right? This is a zone of support for me. This is something to watch out for. We haven't quite hit it yet, but we're getting closer and closer to that zone of resistance. So again, if you're a long-term investor in Bitcoin, you're looking for a long-term rise in the price of Bitcoin, you're going to want to step in on moves like this, on big weak moves on Bitcoin, as we were recommending back here. You're not going to want to do it after an 80% move up and approaching resistance. That's not really an objective entry here. Now, another big channel we're looking at here is this bullish price channel here. Again, another log scale chart here. All of these charts, looking at the longer term trends on Bitcoin, are of course on the log scale. If you put this on a linear scale, how do you want to put a price channel on a move like this, right? This is a parabolic move. To look at Bitcoin, you need to put all of these moves in proportion to one another, and that's done through log scaling. So I like this channel because you've got a few daily closes right here in this zone. Then it holds as support right here. And again, you've got a perfect tag right there. So while it was probably not an ideal level to watch throughout this period, now that we've had this perfect tag, it becomes a relevant level. It becomes something that other market participants are watching. You can also see we have a clear zone of resistance in the middle of this channel here. When it's tested from below, it acts as resistance. You can see where we are right now with Bitcoin's price. We're again just under this zone of resistance that ranges between around 51K to around 53K again. Now on the shorter term chart here, and this is no longer log scaling, we're just looking at the 8-hour chart of Bitcoin. Here we have this big move up here, massive bullish move. We talked about how significant this is, right? We broke this line of resistance here. This was a major line of resistance that was keeping Bitcoin in a bearish structure. Once that's broken, you're in a bullish long-term structure again. You're back on positive momentum. Does that mean you can't have pullbacks? Absolutely not. Same thing goes for Bitcoin relative to its moving averages, right? The price is now above all the major moving averages, right? The 200, 150, 150-day moving average. Once you're back above most of these averages, you're back on bullish momentum. You start to get bullish crossovers like we have here between the 50 and the 100. That's starting to look similar to this period right here, where the 50-day starts to come in and cross above all of the other longer term moving averages. That's something that we're still waiting for, but we believe it's going to be coming very soon. But now if we look at the short-term structure, very short-term stuff here, we have rising price and falling momentum. This is the RSI, a momentum indicator, and you've got higher highs on the price and the RSI fading down as price moves up. This is divergence between price and momentum. It's a bearish development. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that these divergences lead to either a correction in time or a correction in price, or both. Now, it seems like what's happening right now today as I'm filming this is that price is popping back above this trend line. We have a minor trend line here with a few reactions. If we close back above this trend line support, that could trigger a short squeeze move, extending these divergences right here, and right as Bitcoin is hitting that 52 to 53K resistance zone that we talked about on this chart and on this chart as well. So these divergences tell me that either Bitcoin is going to take one more leg higher before making a 10, 15, maybe even 20% correction, or we're going to see a sideways period of consolidation before eventually we break through that resistance zone. If we take a look at Bitcoin right here in this zone, you can see we had similar developments with price making higher highs right here. You can see all of these higher highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lower highs on the RSI. Now, Bitcoin back here in 2020 was so strong that we barely saw a period of correction. We actually only had a correction in time here. So that's a good example of how divergences can lead to just consolidations and not corrections. Divergences on Bitcoin with price making higher highs and the RSI making lower highs, that led to a significant correction, right? That marked a significant top. So hopefully that makes sense, and that gives you a sense of what type of price action we could get in the next few days. My opinion right now, and I'm not trading based on this because I'm just holding on to my Bitcoins for dear life. But if you're looking to position or trade on Bitcoin, my opinion is that if we get a move up here into 53K, we'll get a rejection and likely some type of panic move on Bitcoin. If we don't get a move up here and we continue to see sideways consolidation, then that will be a refuel station for the next leg up. Now let's talk about the chart that I showed you at the beginning of the video, where we talked about the altcoins beginning to take profit. So this is the spent output H bands on Glassnode. So these are coins that haven't been moved in 2 to 7 years. So old money, old coins that have been holding for a significant period of time. I consider that to be smart money. If you got into Bitcoin before me, right, you understood things that I didn't understand back at that time. And so I'm looking to follow investors that have done better than me. So we got into Bitcoin back in September 2020, but coins that haven't been moved in 2 to 5 years, those are people that accumulated throughout the bear market. And I'm very interested in what those people have to say. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin and on-chain data. You can actually see this information. All of this is available to anyone. And this is an example of on-chain analysis that we do each week on gameoftrades.net for our members. We cover every indicator that we think is important for the short, intermediate, and longer term on Bitcoin. Now here we've had a rise in the profit taking from altcoins. So this is actually a worrying development for Bitcoin. No matter how bullish I am, we have to stay objective. And this type of spike in profit taking from altcoins is a worrying development. We had a similar spike leading up to this high in January. That was a big top. And most importantly, in 2018, on this relief rally, you had a big spike in profit taking from altcoins. Now, does that mean that we're starting a bear market? Probably not. I think part of that profit taking was fueled by the uncertainty from the Federal Reserve Jackson Hole meeting. But in general, spikes in profit taking lead to short-term corrections. And you can see that was the case in 2016, in 2017 here. Same thing with this top. You have a spike in the profit taking from altcoins. So while this doesn't guarantee a correction, it should keep investors open to the possibility of a correction, especially considering the technical picture that we have as Bitcoin is approaching resistance and building these divergences. Now, to finish on a good note for Bitcoin, and I do think that's important for anyone that's holding Bitcoin long term and that believes in the asset long term, we also need to remain optimistic because we're seeing these types of indicators here. The total supply held by long-term holders, that's back to an all-time high. That's an impressive move up. You can see that peak here in the total supply held by long-term holders corresponded to the very beginning of this rally, right? This is how Bitcoin price action works. It's how the price action in most assets work. You have a shortage of supply because smart money accumulates. That creates a rise in price. And throughout that rise in price, you have this smart money, so long-term holders, that begin to take profits off the table. And typically in that euphoria, that's when you see short-term holders come in, and that's your sell signal. Now, what are the long-term holders doing now? They're accumulating. They've been accumulating massively throughout the May and June sell-off here. So although we could have a short-term correction on Bitcoin, the long-term macro picture remains incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. Of course, don't forget to like this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button as well. Now, in the meantime, I wish you good luck on your trading.